All right, guys, we have a 2013 Ram 1500. It's got the 5.7 liter Hemi engine, and it has the infamous tick. So these engines have a small tick to them, but when they start getting abnormally loud, there's usually a problem. And this one did exactly that. So complaint was the engine is ticking. Normally that's pretty loud at that point. Customers usually don't hear it's a normal ticking. If they can hear it in the car driving it's ticking, there's normally a problem. And what we usually find is the lifters fail, like this. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so in that lifter, this is a roller on that lifter. It's supposed to be stationary, but the whole center bearing is gone. So when that happens, the shoulders here come in contact with the camshaft lobe and eats into it. I'll show you. This lobe right here is supposed to look like this, and it's not. It's all ate up. So what's supposed to happen is this roller rolls like this, okay? And as you can tell, what happened to this one is, let me get the right one. Yep, that's it. It ate up, and the shoulder starts eating into it. If it doesn't spin, it just catches it. It uses lubrication between the two metal surfaces. Well, when something doesn't roll, you have friction. Those aren't supposed to be come in contact like that. So what happens is this roller probably locked up and it froze up, and the pin fell out of it, or the roller bearing fell out of it, and then from there it's just bouncing around, just violently bouncing around. So don't forget, you have actually a push rod that's pushing down on this, and that is connected to a rocker arm which opens and closes the intake or exhaust valve. So I mean, there's a lot of pressure there, and very, very fast. I mean, it's rapidly. I mean, it's going at a rapid pace. So heat, friction gets involved. And then the biggest thing is it a mechanical failure because it's just a bad part, bad design, engineered is faulty, or was it a lack of lubrication due to the type of oil they're using? It's hard to know what it is, but this failure is high. I can tell you one thing that I noticed. I'm trying to connect the dots. Yeah, the design's probably not the best, but I tell you what, every time I see this happen, it's always got a chain store sticker in that left front corner of that windshield. So, and it just makes you think, you know, the oil they're using maybe not up to spec, and that's what could cause this problem, because your main thing to contribute to fight this is oil, and oil is your main component to protect this engine from happening. I mean, you can see this one's already starting to have problems here. It's pitting really bad on this. So this problem still could have happened if you went to another facility that used oil that's quality oil that meets spec. It may or may not. It's hard to know for sure. This oil wasn't horrible. It's been maintained, so I don't think it's a lack of maintenance. I think personally, my opinion from this, it is probably the type of oil they're using in the filters. I mean, she's got a Chinese oil filter on there. The oil is probably local oil. Probably doesn't meet any specifications. So there's already a known issue here, and now you're using low quality oil filter, low quality oil most likely. You need to have the best oil filter you can, and the best lubrication, the best oil you can to prevent this happening. So you're really defeated just trying to use the bare minimum. So those quick lube shops cost money. They're cheap, right? Because they're like 60 bucks, and like everyone else is like 150. Well, how cheap is it now? This is about $6,000 in repairs. It's not too cheap. So you got to think twice that it's cheap. I'm going to go here because this place is 60 bucks. There's always a reason why a facility is so low on oil change, guys. There's always something behind there. It's a give and take on most stuff, guys. Just, yes, I'm saving money. But really, are you saving money? If this happens to your vehicle because you're using a shop that doesn't use very quality oil, you're costing yourself money. So it's one of those things you have to really pay attention to. Most people don't connect the dots, but we see this all the time. So I can tell you most engine failures, most mechanical failures, I look in that windshield, it has a quick loop sticker in that windshield every time. Doesn't mean that if you go somewhere else that uses the quality stuff, you're never gonna have a problem, but I just tell you from connecting the dots, there's a high failure rate with the people that go to quick loop shops. It's a fact, I can tell you right now. So, so that cheap oil change will end up being very expensive here, in my opinion. Her level was okay, but this oil has to meet certain specifications, you know, and that's a critical component trying to protect your valve train components. I mean, you can't just toss any oil in this vehicle and expect it to not have problems. You're gonna have problems if you don't use the right stuff. So that's number one. Stop trying to save money on oil changes. It makes no sense, okay? It's like an oxymoron, honestly, God, truth in the end. So, because it's gonna end up costing you more money. It happens every time. The people that understand true maintenance and the reasoning behind that are gonna go to a shop. They're gonna vet that shop, like, hey, what oil to use? What's your filters? Those people care about their engine because they don't want to throw 5 or 10 grand on a motor because it's expensive. They're willing to pay more for better quality oil and technicians that work on their vehicle to get a better outcome. Wouldn't you? I mean, I would. So vet where you're going. Your best option for price is probably not the best option in the end for the vehicle, the engine itself. It might be for your wallet in the beginning, but in the end, it's going to bite it. So what does it take to do this job? Well, the cylinder heads have to come off. You have to be careful because you do have metal that's come off these lobes. That metal went somewhere in this engine. Yes, there's a filter that's going to capture, it should capture all that metal, obviously, right? But, you know, it goes across the bearing surfaces. It can damage the bearings on the cam, can damage the bearings on the rods, the mains. So you need to make sure you don't have any noise from the rods or mains or any of that before you commit to give somebody an estimate on this vehicle, because if you do all this work and spend $6 grand and you're running and it's got a bearing problem, that's wasted money. It's not the best, that wasn't the best suggestion to the customer. So some of these will need engines depending how fast you catch it. This was caught pretty relatively fast. And it had no bearing noise, no rod knock, nothing like that. It was perfect. And we can look at the bearing surfaces on the cam. They look great. There's no damage whatsoever. So the filter did do its job. But you have to take that into consideration. So what's involved? Cylinder heads come off. These are lifter trays. This MDS rear multi-displacement system. So this has to go in the rear of the engine, and there's a front. So it's 2 rear, 2 front. And that's another thing is part choices. Yes, you're like, oh, it's $6 grand, that's expensive. You don't realize what parts cost. You haven't looked into it. If you're trying to compare what Amazon and eBay and online parts go for, it's not a good comparison because what we're using is OE equipment on this vehicle. And there's 4 of these lifter trays. They're like 300 something bucks a pop. This camshaft's like 500 bucks, 600 bucks. So we're not using some no-name generic lifter or camshaft. Who's going to stand behind that? You know, most of the stuff ends bad. There's always a failure from it. Who's going to cover it? If you're going to pay that kind of money on this job, you want this thing to be a long time repair. You don't want it to go six months and then the same noise or a lifter falls out of it or whatever the case. You have to use quality parts. Going back, gaskets, your technicians need to clean the surfaces real good. The heads, I've seen so many shops just throw the heads back on there. If you're using multi-layered steel, MLS gaskets, you cannot just throw a head on there and expect it to seal long term. That head has to be resurfaced. There is a specification on every cylinder head for flatness. I've never seen a cylinder head ever meet that specification when you pull it off. They always have to be milled because that clamping force in that head it's going to, and on aluminum, it's going to have variances throughout that cylinder head. It has to be perfectly flat across that cylinder head to seal on a multi-layer gasket, okay? The multi-layer, it's a spring gasket. It's a spring-loaded gasket. So it's very, very important to take your cylinder heads to a quality machine shop, have them resurface it, and it shouldn't be much to take off it. It's not a lot, because you're dealing with chains, not in this motor, but on the newer ones, you're dealing with chains. If you take too much metal off, it can cause a variation code in the chains. But so you have to do a thicker head gasket and less time on that, or some of these you can do thicker washers, but you're not taking very much off. You shouldn't take much off. It's not like it's a overheating condition, so you shouldn't have any problems at all. But yeah, the number one thing I see is the shops that just slap the heads back on. That's not how you do the work. There's a professional way to do work, and there's a backyard way to do work. That's called a backyard mechanic right there. I don't care if you took a facility with a name on the billboard or whatever on the front of the building. If they're doing it like that, they're not doing it professionally. That's not how you do work. That head needs to go to machine shop qualified. They need to make sure it's resurfaced and flat. Bottom line. That's why there's specifications for flatness on heads. It's there for a reason. It doesn't mean if they just slap it on, you're not going to have you might not have problems. You might go 6 months, you might go a year, might go 2 years, but eventually something's going to lead to an issue, a coolant leak or something, or you're just taking a chance. You shouldn't take chances on customers' vehicles that are paying you good money. So you need to take the chances out of it. That's the whole ordeal. So you need to make sure it's right. That's the right way to do it. The other thing is gaskets. Use quality gaskets. There's a lot of choices out there. Either go with the OE gasket or the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer. That's what we use and everything. New head bolts. Some of these head bolts you can reuse. They'll tell you they're reusable. Most of these are stretch bolts. The actual bolt stretches while you torque it, so they're a one-time use, so you can't reuse it. So those are the small stuff that are big that customers don't see, is the whole process from doing a job. There's so many things that can be done wrong that need to be done right. They're small steps that make a really successful repair. You need to make sure at a facility or the technician that's working on it has that mindset that he's going to do every procedure correctly, because there's a lot of shortcuts you can take on doing a big job. You don't want shortcuts taking on big jobs. That's why there's mistakes happen, because people take shortcuts. If you try to rush the process, not take your time, you're going to miss something. You're going to miss a bolt. You're going to go too tight. You're going to snap a bolt. So there's so many things can go wrong people don't realize. Let's say, for example, you're torquing this head, and one of the middle bolts on the top snaps. A good technician, a good facility, like, hey, we're going to get that bolt out of there. We're going to, if it stripped out the threads, we'll put a steel insert in there and go on. Some guys will be like, nobody saw that. I'm going back. I ain't touching that bolt. No one's going to see it. How will the customer know? It's not going to affect anything right now. It could. So you have options. I mean, guys have options to ignore stuff or make it right. So it's important that, whoever's working on it, you have to trust, hey, they're going to do the right thing. You'd be surprised, most people, if given a chance, they don't do the right thing. So if no one's looking, how they're going to act. That's the key. If no one's looking and they're the only one that knows, what are they going to do for their options? They're going to do it right, make it right, or they're going to be like, yeah, nobody sees this, I'm just going to go on. So I say that because it happens. We get cars in all the time. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. We get in here, that's whole bolt's loose because it's broke. It snapped in because no one torqued it. Or they torqued it, but over-torqued it and snapped it. Or they left it there, didn't fix it. So if stuff like that happens, one thing I'm going to recommend on this is they make a exhaust manifold gasket kit per side. New exhaust manifold, gasket, new nuts, new bolts. I'll insert it in the video. It's pretty new to what Mopar's started doing. It's pretty nice because these exhaust bolts are pretty pricey. You add them all up, it's a pretty pricey deal, but it comes with the new exhaust manifolds, which are prone to cracking. So this is a great time to replace it. Might as well do it, update it. If you reuse those bolts, that's a disservice because those bolts are bad about snapping. because you have to understand exhaust manifolds are under a lot of tension. As those exhaust heats up, it's pulling on those bolts. It cools down, they stretch, right? They stretch as they pull, it cools down, it contracts. When something gets pulled on and contracts over time, what's going to happen to it? That bolt's going to break, and that's why exhaust bolts break all the time. Is that reason? So you'll see certain ones on certain cylinder heads that are broken all the time. Usually it's the back ones, because that's where the tension. Because don't forget, when the motors, when is driving, the exhaust is flexing too. So you have a flex, you have a contraction, and you have expansion. You have all that happening, and the one that's taking the most pressure is on the back of cylinder head. The one in the front is not taking much at all. The one in the back it's actually what's keeping the exhaust and all that weight together, so it moves up. So that's why the back ones always break. So this is a perfect time to take care of it now. New exhaust bolts, new hardware, and all that stuff. But yeah, and you go back, new quality oil, new filter. But there's just a lot of people don't think of what could go wrong versus I'm just going to pay to get it done. There's so many things can go wrong. So you have to take that consideration. And you're only as good as your technician. Any shop, I don't care. You say, hey, this shop's awesome. You're only as good as that technician that works on your car, because that's who's working on it. They represent that shop. Because this shop can be awesome, but if that technician is bad, you're going to get a bad result. That's just the fact of life on this one. So hopefully this lesson will help some people out there, because some people don't think about this stuff. And the reason I say it is because we hear it all the time, and people ask, what could I have done different? What should I have done? Or I went here because it's easy, and they kind of tell you it's easy, cheap. Well, you can't do that. So some people don't think about it. So you try to help educate them. That's what we're trying to do, is educate you to make a better decision, so it saves you money and saves you trouble. So that's what we're trying to do. Till the next one, see ya.